Hey, what's up guys? This is Zanaris, and this is going to be the third in the challenge series that will help you achieve the solid gold achievement for Starcraft 2 and get you this sweet Spectre portrait. This one is going to cover for the Swarm. It's the Zerg kind of counter tutorial. So, I'm going to go ahead and load this up here. We've already covered the Protoss and the Terran in the previous two tutorials, so if you want to check them out and kind of catch up to speed on how this works, feel free to do so. Going to go ahead and shut up while this introductory video starts, and then I'll explain the basics of it and how to win.
These three spires are under threat. You must defend them with the forces available. The spires are widely separated. You must divide your forces to protect them all. Study your foes carefully. Deploy your minions to best counter each group of enemies. When you are fully prepared, press the ready button to begin.
Alright, so you've seen the basic introduction of what is going to go down here. The units we are facing are going to be Protoss. This one here in the top left is going to be 1 Immortal. We have here 5 Colossi in the bottom left, and then in the top right we have some Void Rays. So, the units that we have for this, we have some Zerglings, whole boatload of Hydras, and we got some Ultralisks. So, one important thing that I'm going to say before we start in this tutorial, the Zerg ability, you'll see they all have Burrow. Use this to its full advantage. It's easier to burrow it than it is to pull a unit back, because if you try to pull it back, it is still going to take some damage. Whereas if you bird, it's going to go out of combat instantly. So keep that in mind when you're doing this video, or when you're doing this this challenge. Going to go ahead and send the Ultras down here to counter the Colossi. Should be an easy matchup. I'm going to go ahead and position these here and space them out just a little bit so the laser spread when the initial attack isn't as damaging as it could be. So, we'll just say that's good enough for now. For the Immortal, we are going to go ahead and use the Zerglings. Should be pretty easy. And we do have the Spellcaster here. First, I'm going to go ahead and send the Hydras up to the Spire to face off against the Void Rays. Alright, then you have an Infestor here. You can see he does have Infested Terran, Fungal Growth, and Neural Parasite. You'll probably find the most useful ability is going to be the Infested Terran. So I am actually going to go ahead and use this up here with the Hydras, as this will kind of give the Void Rays some cheesy targets to attack while my Hydras pick them off. I noticed this is the one that I usually end up losing the most units on. So, gonna go ahead and start this up here since we do have our units in position. One more thing I'm going to go ahead and do is, since you do have the Burrow ability, I do like to use that when fighting units such as this. So that way, rather than having the unit attack me as as I'm running up to it, I can unburrow right from under it and start getting immediate damage. Same thing gonna do with these Hydras. Don't want to have to move these Hydras in when attacking the Void Rays, because the Void Rays will just do tons of damage and charge up their lasers on the way in. So I am going to go ahead and burrow these here. Gonna get this Infestor here as well, ready to toss in those Infested Terrans and get some damage soaking. Gonna go ahead and click ready here, and we'll start off with the Ultralisks versus the Colossi. And I'm going to go ahead and make use of the Burrow ability here. One little Rebel Ultralisk doesn't really know what he's doing. That's okay though, because now I can come up and start doing tons of damage. Pull this one back just a little bit because it is taking a whole bunch of unnecessary damage. Same with this one. Going to go ahead and burrow it super fast. Haven't lost anything yet. This one is getting pretty low. I'm going to go ahead and burrow it, even though we have already finished. Second one is going to be up now. Got the Zerglings versus the Immortal. This one should be a fairly straightforward fight. I probably will lose one on this, but that's okay. Waiting until he gets as close as possible. Gonna go ahead and burrow that one here. Whoops, did not mean to do that. Yeah, you want to make sure you are actually paying attention here. Gonna go ahead and burrow that one, burrow that one, burrow that one, burrow that. Okay, so we lost 2 units. You could have been a little bit more methodical with that. No, you guys don't want to go down. So one thing I don't like about this is the hotkeys sometimes carry over when you press them through the lag. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move up here very slowly, as you can see. And do lose a couple units, but I am kind of focusing down these, and the infested Terrans were able to take a lot of the hits. You do want to focus down the ones that have their lasers charged up the most, as these ones aren't really doing too much damage. I did lose 4 units, not too bad for the first one. So, gonna go ahead and move on to the second one here. We'll see what we're facing off against. First, gonna go ahead and review the unit comp. We do have some Mutalisks, some Roaches, a couple Ultras, and an Infestor. Opponents are going to be several Zealots, 5 Void Rays, and 9 Stalkers. So, gonna go ahead and send the Ultras up here to face the Stalkers. Got the Roaches. This is gonna be a pretty easy counter against the Zealots, pretty much just kiting around on the creep. And lastly, we do have the Mutalisks, which I am going to go ahead and send up here to fight the Void Rays, and once again I'm going to include the Infestor to provide some of the wonderful infested Terran damage absorption. So, I'm going to go ahead and get these guys on a little bit of a line here, and we will we'll go ahead and start it. I'm going to leave them on burrowed because they are going to go ahead and move around a lot on the creep. So, alright, so we've got pretty much everything is squared away here. Going to go ahead and click ready. And we'll get this show on the road. Should be going against the Zealots first. Yep, sure are. And they are going to come. I generally like to wait for them to get onto the creep so I can just start cutting so much faster, as they do have the run speed bonus on the creep. So we're going to go ahead and start out. And this is pretty much just going to be kiting all the way around here. As I do get some, I do take some hits in there, but that's okay because I still have plenty of Roaches, plenty of kiting that can be done. I'm going to go ahead and kite back here just a little bit, burrow down, and let them run back towards it. Get a little bit of range there. And really, if you wanted to, you could do that the whole time. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to kite them like this. You can just burrow, let them run, burrow, let them run, and they'll more or less kite themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself into a corner here, but that's okay, because we now have finished.